Hey everybody, how you doing today? Well, guess what? Somehow I made a video and none of the audio came through at all. So, gonna voice over a little bit here and probably throw some music in there in a few spots. But anyhow, this is what we're doing today. Got a white dial with a bit of a I don't know, that birch pattern, I suppose you could call it. And I figured I'd go with just a little bit of blue, with the blue on the bezel insert, blue on the second hand, blue on AR on the sapphire, and yeah, just a little splash of color. Got a few things, already done. This is another bench clearing build. Parts here from different things and just want to get it done. So, you know how that goes. Now, first things first, get the crystal inserted. You know the drill. So here's a little trick for you. Put the case back on your case, and then when you put it on your crystal press, the case back will sit in the bottom there and hold it in the right place, or at the very least it slips around a hell of a lot less for you. So just little ways to make your life easier. And then make sure you're pressing it down evenly. Rotate it. Make sure it gets down and gets seated properly. Alright, so the crystal is installed. Now we'll just throw the click spring on the case just to get it out of the way, keep it safe, and install some hands. Now these hands are a black chrome, so they're shiny, but they're black. So I figured that would look, it would stand out really good on the white dial, and also, with the black on the chapter ring as well. All right, one done. Looking pretty good. On to the minute hand. And the minute hand is done. Sorry, no fancy camera angles today, but at least I can show you real close. Hey, that's a nice stack you got there. All right, now for the fun part. Everybody's favorite. And second hand done. Now just quick go around, make sure everything is spaced okay, nothing's interfering, and we're golden. On to the next step. Now after cleaning up the crystal on the case inside and out, get this movement cased up, and shortly after this, everything starts to go completely sideways. Tiny bit of foreshadowing for you. Alright, well, get some gaskets greased up, like the one on the crown gasket here. Surprisingly important. Helps the movement of the crown, as well as helping with water resistance. And a crown back or case back gasket as well, and we're almost good to go. So this is the bezel that I have intended to use. Now, everything seems to be going well so far, matches the case and everything's great, love it, so on and so on. But this is when everything starts to go completely cattywampus. You'll see in a moment here. Can't really explain it, just a matter of a whole bunch of little things I'm thinking that just added up to make everything not work at all. So As you can see, it is not happy. Everything's tight, it's binding, it feels terrible. So there are a handful of different potential fixes for this, but it was a matter of a couple of different things together rather than just one. Option number one, take it off, clean it, do it again. You never know. It's kind of like turning it off and turning it back on again. Sometimes things just don't go right the first time. But no, just didn't seem to be what was needed. Not this time. So, try again. Alright, that did not work. So, option number two, sometimes click springs are not perfect. They're pretty thin, you know, they get wonky, they get messed up a little, so every now and again, it's just the click spring's fault. Try a different click spring, see what happens. Alright, new click spring installed, and the wiener is, it's gonna not work worth a damn. Okay. This is getting frustrating because usually one or two fixes typically, you know, solve the problem. But on to fix option number 3. Because, yeah, this one's stuck on there good. Here we go. Option number 3. Try a different bezel entirely. Not my first choice because I really wanted to use that other bezel, but what can you do? Gotta just roll with the punches sometimes. So, using the new click spring, the new bezel, lubed up the bezel insert, or the bezel gasket, sorry, and still nothing. It's really one of those builds. But there's always more options. It was at this moment I realized it wasn't me. It was the case. Now, these cases are not always perfect. Sometimes you can have a case that is milled just slightly big or small, and your parts don't fit exactly the way you want them. So I'm going to guess this is one of those cases that it's just not right. What I'm going to do is basically start from the beginning and find another case that I'm happy to use and undo everything I've done and redo everything into this case and see what happens. Commence the high-speed music montage. Okay, that's enough of that nonsense. Back to it. Another thing I wanted to point out to you guys that maybe you didn't realize, there are different size bezel gaskets. There are a 0.7 millimeter and a 0.9 millimeter. It makes a difference. So just for laughs, I threw in a 0.7, and another hint, always keep your tools sharp. That way you can always get into these tiny little gaps here without damaging the case. And next up, bezel insert. Definitely on the home stretch from this point. And I think that's looking really good. All that blue is matching up really well. Strange thing is, it looks a lot different on the camera screen than it does in real life. So I'm not even sure if what kind of blue you guys are seeing, which might sound strange, but it's true. Now the bezel's working now. It's a bit tight, but it is serviceable, and I'm pretty sure that it will loosen up over time now. So we're looking good. Next up is definitely the bracelet, and I'm going to use a J bracelet. I got harassed last video for using the J word, so I'm not going to use it today. I'm going to slap it on my own J bracelet, because then I can put it on my wrist and see how it looks. Okay, and here it is. I think it's not looking horrible. I'm starting to like these bench cleaning builds. You know, some of this stuff I wouldn't even have thought of before, but it's just coming together nicely. So now that I have this on my own bracelet, I can actually put it on my wrist and see what it looks like on me. Definitely glad I put it on this J bracelet. I think it needed that extra flash. I don't know. I like all kinds of bracelets, but these are definitely one of my favorites and one of the most comfortable for sure. Yeah, I actually really like the look of that. I'm pretty impressed, and I like the way all of the blue, for being almost random parts, all the blues are matching up quite nicely on the bezel insert and the second hand and the chapter ring. So anyhow, I hope you guys like this one. I've got a few more left to finish out what I've got for parts here, and then yeah, we're getting on to new stuff. So love y'all. Thanks again for stopping by. I appreciate you all. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers. Don't forget to come back again.